lovely Thursday, May 22nd. Please join me in a moment of reflection, prayer, or to think of those less fortunate than us. Thank you. Flag salute is Kirkley.
All right, would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll join us in the join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
You may be seated. Also would like to say, think of those reflecting on Memorial Day as well as we're not making. I know that that's coming up this Monday, so please keep those in our prayers. Introductions. We have Carla Atkins here for Norman Public School System. So, yes, some Nick's. Nick is not here today, but I wanted to get the information, and so Carla's going to be attending sometimes when Nick's not here. So we want to welcome her. So we also, do we have any other guests today? Oh, Phil Moss, he is visiting Rotarian and is going to be a announcement in just a few minutes. So we'll turn that over. We'll have him come up in just a few minutes, Phil. And then quote of the day. I had two. I just really couldn't pick one today. So quote is, if you have the chance to make people happy, just do it. Sometimes people are struggling silently. Maybe your act of kindness can make their day. That's number one. Number two is stay positive. The only thing difference between a good day and a bad day is your attitude. All right. Oh, that inspires people. All right. Now we'll have Phil Moss come up from Cross Timbers, please.
It's good to be back with you
Hey.
all. And yeah.
Okay, back table, can y'all please listen?
It's good to be back with you all. I'm here. Some of you know this. My son was a graduate of Norman High School, went to OU, got his bachelor's there. He was in the Army ROTC. He also completed a master's at OU. Was in the National Guard and Reserve, achieved the rank of captain. His career took him to Washington, D.C., where he worked in different agencies, but ended up was accepted in the FBI Academy, and graduated and became a special agent in the FBI, assigned to the Houston field office. A couple of years after he started his career, he was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer, and was not able, even though we were next door to Kennedy Anderson, there wasn't a whole lot that they could do because it was such a rare form of cancer. So we've been involved in trying to support the Appendix Cancer Research Foundation, and they asked us if we would sponsor a regional block to support education and research for appendix cancer. So that's scheduled for June 7th. It's going to be at Ruby Grant Park at the Pavilion off 36 from 10 till 12. It's not going to be a long walk. You can tell by looking at me that it wouldn't be a long walk. But we're asking for people in the community who would be interested in supporting it, participating in the walk, or just making a contribution or sponsorship to consider doing so. I know it's a conflict with the food drive. It's that same day. We'll say we had our day first, but that's all right. So if you're not helping with the food drive and would have time to come join us, please consider doing so. I put some flyers on the table. You can either take the flyer with you, or there's a QR code you can scan as well. So hope we can have a good crowd of folks to help support that effort on June 7th at Ruby Grant Park. Thanks, Liz.
I do agree they have their date first. several times. But, you know, is your club planning it, correct? Yes.
In theory.
In theory, correct. Okay, just wanted to make sure y'all had communicated. All right, now can I please have Jamie Swain come up here for a brief Latour Bend update?
Hello. I am really happy to announce that we have reached a quarter of our goal thus far. So we've raised $25,000 towards our $100,000 goal, which is phenomenal. But we are still $75,000 short. So I implore you to reach out to your business connections or your personal connections and help drive sponsorship for us. I am more than happy to make the ask. Please just feel free to email me or text me. And I think we're about to. Oh yeah. We're also continuing our incentive. If any Rotarian that helps raise $2,500 in sponsorships will receive 2 free tickets to the event. This year's Latour Bend will be a little bit different. We will also be featuring beer and mocktails, cocktails, and wine. So we've opened it up to a little bit more.
Yes, Mark.
Where is it?
It's going to be Embassy Suites on August 23rd.
Yes, Helen.
Do you have any brochures or pamphlets to give out?
I do not have them today, but I'm more than happy to bring them next time. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
I have a few announcements on the inaugural picnic that y'all, oh, look, picnic in the park, right at the right time I said that, planned right there. Anyway, it was a huge success. I could not have done it with, without all the help that we had. All of our, grillers, Randy and Steve and Cranda for getting the grill there for us. Randy took the first time on a flat top, so he did a great job on those burgers. Joan helped, Michael's not here today, but he helped as well. So it took a group effort to pull that off, and I think inviting 7 clubs and people's families was a huge success. I would like to live. Oh, thank you. Good, good. We did get a card from someone from the Sooner Club. Virginia Sanders wrote a card. I just want to read it to y'all. Thank you for inviting all Norman Rotarians to the fabulous picnic on May 15th. My family and I had a wonderful evening. It was great to visit with folks from all the different clubs. Thank you for sponsoring such a great event. So it was one of the things I really wanted to do was to have a family event, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I just want to thank everybody for putting in the hard work. It just was very rewarding, and I hope y'all enjoyed it as well. On your tables, you also have some flyers. There's some posters over on the edge there. I'm helping Dan and Visit Norman and Norman Sports. I'm the volunteer coordinator for the Maverick Criterium bike race that will be here not this weekend, but next. If you've not been to a Criterium race before, think of Tulsa Tough, or you can look that up. Like, share the social media, come out and support it. I'm still looking for volunteers, so some of the flyers are just telling you about the race and such, but there are some yellow ones. Dane has one in front of him. Will you hold it up? Yeah, like that. It has yellow on it. That's asking for volunteers still. So please let me know. I'm still looking for key people to be course marshals and traffic guards. So if interested, please let me know. Or just go sign up. Tomorrow is the last day of Norman Public Schools, so tomorrow is the last day for Nook, bicycles, cards, whatever giveaway. So if you're signed up to do it, Craig says they're all accounted for, then please show up to your school and wear your Rotary gear and be there for the last day of school. It should be super exciting. Also, we need to mention that the pancakes last Friday was a huge success as well. Steve Ward's not here, but I still want to give him a huge shout out for organizing that. That's a lot more than we normally have to do. And thank you for David and Andy and all the pancake cookeries, chefs, bakeries, Wes for making all the batter, everybody that was there. I can't name everybody in the room that was there, but thank you all. 2 teams came together plus some to make that happen. We passed out flyers to teach parents and such to let them know we were co-sponsoring that with the PTA, and that was a huge success this year. Ryler's deadline is tomorrow. If you know of a student that is a junior junior, in high school, then please have them, go to the website and fill out a, application for RILA. We do sponsor campers, so it'd be great if we sent some. And then the camp is June 16th through the 20th, so, all right. Whew. All right, I got through all that, right on time. Today, we are gonna do some Red Badge talks. Our first Red Badge talk is going to be someone that, I'm going to induct right now, so can I please have Mary Jenkins come up here? Mary is no stranger to Rotary, so she is asked not to necessarily need a folder and all of that information, the other stuff. She knows all about Rotary. She's been in Club 29 for a while. She'll tell you about herself, but I still want to induct her into the club first. So, Mary, on behalf of the members of the Norman Rotary Club, I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to our newest member, Mary. Joining Rotary is not just about becoming a member of our club, it's about becoming a part of our global and community and dedicated to making a positive difference in the world. As a Rotary Club, we uphold the values of service, integrity, diversity, and leadership. We are united in a commitment to improving lives locally and globally through our various service projects and initiatives. We're excited to have you join us on this journey of service and fellowship. Your unique skills, experiences, and perspectives will enrich our club and continue our collective efforts and make a lasting change. As you embark on your new Rotary journey, I had to edit that, you will have the opportunity to connect with fellow members here, participate in meaningful projects, and engage in activities that align with your passions and interests. We encourage you to take full advantage of all that Rotary has to offer and to share your ideas and your aspirations with us. Once again, Mary, welcome to the Norman Rotary Club. We're thrilled to have you as part of our Rotary family, and we look forward to working together to make a positive impact in the community and beyond. Okay, so for Red Badge Talk today, this is the order they're gonna go in. Mary's gonna talk first, then Holly, Zane, Elliot, and Deborah. And I'm gonna give you about 5 minutes. I'm gonna do the same thing with y'all that I do with speakers. When it's about 4 minutes up, I'll come stand over here to the side. So again, that's Mary, then Holly's next, then Zane, then Elliot, then Deborah. So, oh, and Lisa. Whoa, sorry, Lisa. You can go right after Holly. You'll go before Zane. Sorry, Lisa. Lisa's in there too. All right, got a lot on my list today. Let's have fun. There you go.
Wait a minute, I never think I'm very short until I see myself in a picture with people and I realize. So yes, I'm Mary Jenkins and I'm a retired attorney. I grew up in Shawnee, Oklahoma, went to OBU and then OU Law School. Started law school the week after Richard Nixon resigned. That gives you some perspective. After law school, I worked for a federal judge in Oklahoma City and then started working as an attorney for Southwestern Bell. Got to know Lynn Weber. I got to be her attorney for some years. I was with Southwestern Bell, which became SBC, which eventually bought its former parent and AT&T and became AT&T. Anyway, I was with the company for 30 years, but mostly I was other places. I was started out in Oklahoma and I did 2 tours in St. Louis and then I lived in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. So retired, well the last few years before I retired I was general counsel for Oklahoma and Arkansas and got back in time for my children to think that they were Oklahomans, not Texans. So I do have 2 children. They're 2 grown children. One lives in the Boston area and the other in the Los Angeles area. And I thought, well, I'll just stay in between. My son in Boston just this week, the excitement is he bought a townhouse in Revere using Bitcoin. So I'm newlywed. I was widowed in 2020 documents and everything else taken care of, so I answer to anything though. Am I supposed to? Oh, I joined Rotary when I came back to Oklahoma in the early 2000s. I did Leadership Oklahoma, with some people who are great Rotarians, members of Club 29, and I joined and, in I think 2003, and finally quit Club 29 at the end of last year because I've been in Norman a couple of years, and it was really hard to get myself to go up there, but I chaired for a long time. I chaired the new member orientation committee and just loved getting to know members as they were coming into the club. And it's a big club, so most months we had 8 or 10 inductees. So were there other things I was supposed to talk about? Oh, about my hobbies, what I like to do. I dance. I dance with David Sabatini. I do line dancing. Kathy Drummond and I tap together. I do Zumba. If it has choreography, I will work out to the music. And I fly. My new husband has an airplane. And back when I was at OBU 50 years ago, I learned to fly, and have not flown for 50 years and just signed up to try to get myself current again. So, if I'm up in the sky, watch out.
Hello, I am Holly Hepler. I own a small business here in Norman doing employee benefits for small companies, mostly in Oklahoma City and Norman. I have been in Norman about 15 years now. I think Mary and I have a lot in common. My husband also stalked me, and I ended up marrying him. He brought me to Oklahoma, much to my dismay originally. I grew up in the Chicago area, so Norman seemed like a completely new world to me and was not where I thought I would spend a majority of my adult life, but here I am. I love it. I love the Norman community, and I have a passion for making Norman a place that people want to come, want to live, and want to stay. I am a member of Norman Next and was also in the Leadership Norman class of 2024, which was a lot of fun, got me involved in Norman more, introduced me to a lot of people and a lot of things here in Norman that I didn't know existed. So that was a lot of fun. I met my husband Adam at Purdue University, so went to school there. Little known fact about me is that I graduated in the College of Technology with an aviation degree. So my goal initially was to become an air traffic controller, but graduated in 2008 during a recession, and so not a lot of people were hiring, especially the government at that time. Started working for a local private school in their daycare because it was something to do, and one of the teachers' husbands owned an insurance agency. So I kind of fell into what I was doing. I've been doing that for the last 15 years, and actually found that I loved that. Spent a lot of time getting to know a lot of different people that way. And so 5 years ago, right before COVID, decided to open my own agency. Maybe had I known COVID was about to happen, I wouldn't have done that. But I'm so glad that I do. I love working for myself, and it gives me a lot of opportunities here in Norman. Let's see, I have 2 dogs at home. My husband and I are both very big sports fans. He is a Chicago White Sox fan, and I'm a Chicago Cubs fan, so we have a lot of animosity there. So we have one dog named Frank, after his favorite White Sox player. We had a dog named Santo after my favorite Cubs player, and so our 3rd dog we agreed would be named after Drew Brees of the Purdue Boilermakers, so, and also New Orleans Saints. So we had to compromise. We couldn't keep going back and forth. It was going to be bad for our marriage, and we might have ended up divorced. My husband has lived here in Norman for most of his life. He moved here when he was 9. His father works for the National Weather Service, so he is a big weather junkie. We spend a lot of time in our house tracking storms, looking at radar, that sort of thing that I never thought I would spend time doing. It was probably one of my greatest fears about moving to Oklahoma. So I'm grateful that I've overcome that fear throughout the years. got to know a lot of people here in Norman. I'm excited to be a member of Rotary because I do think it will help me meet even more people here in Norman, but also a great way to give back to the community as a group. I do think being involved in something like Rotary helps people get more involved, right? It's really hard to get involved when you're just your own person, going out and doing your own thing. It can be intimidating and scary, but I'm excited to be able to be a member here and get to know all of you better. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lisa. Can you guys hear me? I want to give a shout out to Cal Chapman, who is my sponsor to join Rotary. He is at his daughter's end of year fiesta. They have like water slides and it's crazy. So he wanted to be here. I guess he'll get more attention at his red badge talk. Maybe there won't be 10 of us. I wrote down like a list of my life, so here we go. I originally am from Minnesota. I grew up a lot of my life in Phoenix, Arizona. I heard one of y'all talk about Phoenix. I studied at the University of Arizona. I have a bachelor's in atmospheric sciences. So living in Norman is amazing. Like half the people I meet are meteorologists. And everybody has radar apps on their phones, so it's fantastic. I don't do weather anymore. I practiced weather for 4 years in the Air Force, where I met my wonderful pilot spouse who I brought here for a lunch. So stereotypical, I was like, I'm not gonna marry a pilot. I totally married one. He is about to enter year 19 of active duty service. We are near the finish line. We love it here so much, like we might just stay in Norman. We feel like quality of life is great here. Y'all are really friendly, like we love Norman. So I served in the military. They even trusted me so much as a weather officer. I got to work a couple of years out in California. I literally helped launch rockets, which was a highlight in my short life. They let me like press the button and say go for a launch for NASA. So there's a satellite in space thanks to me today. Yeah. I've moved a lot with the military. I've lived all across the United States. I even studied abroad in Mexico City when I was in my undergrad. So si alguien aquí quiere practicar español conmigo, por favor avísame. I taught high school for a number of years after I left the military. I taught high school science, just basic physics, and not calculus physics smart, just like the algebra-based one. I taught environmental science, which is probably my favorite subject on earth, even more than meteorology. They do go hand in hand, and that's where I came up with the idea to write a book about this really strange endangered species where we lived in Texas. So I published my first book with Texas A&M Press. They've got me lined up for a second book. I have funding for editing and printing. I'm trying to go legit all the way this time and get funding for artwork. So I have a tentative yes. I'm very, very, very excited about it. It should be fantastic. I have a wonderful husband, 2 amazing kids. Jamie left early, but I felt like as soon as I came to Rotary, I was welcomed because Jamie Swain saw me. And our kids go to the same school, so like, it felt right. And we love our Lamont school here. We're just happy to be here. And hobbies, Craig can attest. I saw him at Lake Thunderbird Sailing Club. It feels kind of like a pirate club, so we like it. Like there are kind of people. My husband's a big sailor. I'm still learning, but it's fun. Thank you.
Hello, Norman Rotary. As you guys can see, my tires look different today. I usually keep a change of clothes in my car. And I thought about changing on the way here. And I was like, you know what? This is my red badge talk. This is actually my work gear today. This is my work attire today. So I am training for the U.S. Men's National Championship bodybuilding, which will be in November of this year. It's a goal of mine that I've been after for, well, probably since I was about 13 and I saw Conan the Barbarian. I mean, I was like, hey, look at that, I could do that, right? So, you know, you guys, a lot of you know a lot about me. You see me in different outfits, different facets. I'll be honest with you guys with what has gotten me to where I'm at today. So, I've achieved a lot in life from one perspective. You know, I was raised very poor, had a lot of great mentors, had a lot of great encouragement, a lot of great opportunities. I have achieved being a millionaire, losing millions, then achieved being a multi-millionaire, experienced losing. And I've just done so many different things. And through that, you know, Albert Einstein said that failure is one of the greatest teachers. So I looked at it and I'm like, okay, what is it that I'm not getting? Because it seemed like I was really great at accomplishing whatever I pursued, whatever I chased, but I couldn't hold it once I got it. That fire was too hot, right? And so, in, you know, a reflection on myself, I realized, well, I pursued all these things in this world. You know, I pursued success as it's written, or money, or things, accomplishments, you know, that in an attempt to prove myself to this world, but I didn't pursue me enough. I put that down. I grew up with that instilled in me. You know, I've always been an athlete. I've done extreme sports since I was about 13. I've always been in bodybuilding, like I said, from a young age, but when I would pursue those things in this world, I would put that down. I would put down my passion. I would put down what made me feel good about myself and what taught me about myself. And so that's something that I've learned about 8 years ago when I lost the multi-millions. The oil field was as, you know, volatile as they say, I learned. And thank God for humbling me and being with me and encouraging me. So now I'm pursuing myself. So through this, I've learned discipline. And I'm 44 years old, been vegan for 8 years, and I'm doing this all natural, trying to pursue health, trying to pursue getting to learn myself, become a better person. I learned that I can't be a strong person physically unless I become a strong person mentally, because I need discipline. And I need discipline to not eat what I want to eat. I love food, yes, I eat a ton of food, but I work out really hard, so I can eat more. I have to have discipline to go into the gym when I don't want to go into the gym. Which is a lot of the time. You know, I've been through depression. I reached, when I was at the height of my last career, and I was number 30 fastest growing company in the nation, I was 290 pounds completely out of shape. I had no energy. I couldn't keep up with things. I was struggling just to do work. My kids suffered from that. My personal relationships suffered from that. I suffered from that. I felt depression, all kinds of things, right? So, this has been something that's been really fantastic for me to learn, and not just to learn from me. I mean, I don't know it all, as Oscar Wilde said, that I'm not young enough to know it all. I'm definitely past that point in my life, right? But I do want to inspire others as much as they inspire me. I do want to learn enough about myself that I can be somebody I respect, be somebody that I know can hold on to whatever I attain, and once I attain it, not feel that imposter syndrome. Right? And so I'm back after it again. That's one thing about me that I'm thankful for. I'm resilient. I keep going. I'm always going to chase everything I can every day of my life. And so this is me showing you one other side of myself. And I do this because you guys are all very, very great friends of mine. I appreciate the support, the encouragement, the smiles, the friendship, the examples of people serving in the community. You guys support so many wonderful things at the Rotary. Like, I mean, there's so many, like the cancer walk and the biking. I mean, these are active things that actually give back to the community and inspire others and motivate people in the community. We all need that. I need that. So thank you guys for your encouragement and your friendship. Love you guys.
Well, I didn't come as prepared as he, so I'm not going to quote Albert Einstein and Oscar Wilde, but my name is Elliot Springer. I am a Norman native. I went to McKinley Elementary School, I went to Alcott Middle School, I went to Norman High, went to OU. I grew up in a household, parents stayed together until my dad passed away a few years ago. But my parents were very intentional about creating and cultivating an environment environment where my siblings and I, so I have 3 other siblings, I have 2 sisters and a brother, all grew up wanting to care for others and instill that sometimes that means service above self. And so that really sticks with me when we say that in Rotary. I graduated University of Oklahoma with a bachelor's in sociology. After that, first professional job I guess I had was with Center for Children and Families. So I've been working in the nonprofit world for pretty much my entire professional career. But I was their Kids Cafe coordinator, so I planned all their meals. I partnered with the regional food bank to track how many meals we were serving, everything like that. After my time there, I went to Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's probably where I started to get maybe a little bit more known in the community. Mona back here, she was a volunteer with Big Sister, and she was Big Sister of the Year, 20, I was like, I don't know. But I loved working at Big Brothers Big Sisters. I learned a lot about myself. I learned that interpersonal relationships and getting to know people authentically and genuinely is how the world is going to improve. We don't understand each other unless we have those relationships. So I left Big Brothers Big Sisters in 2023, and I went to Thunderbird Clubhouse. So Thunderbird Clubhouse is a mental health organization where we work with adults who are in recovery from some sort of mental illness, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar. It was a big adjustment for me because I went to youth mentoring, working with families, to working with adults who have mental health issues. There's a lot of stigma around that. I've seen that firsthand, but I've also seen the transformative aspect of what can happen when we build those relationships and when we work with people in the community that are understanding of mental illness. Fortunately, I've always worked places that let me be me. I like to have a lot of fun. I sometimes probably border the line of professionalism and whatever on the opposite, unprofessionalism. Liz asked me, she said, hey, you need to come dressed up. You need to come in a costume. That's what you do. I did decide to wear one of my fun shirts, so I will give you guys a quick There you go. So this is pretty representative of me. I'm really into pop culture, so all the Marvel movies, huge Star Wars fan. My first tattoo, which regretting it a little bit now, is the Imperial logo. So it doesn't have good meanings anymore, but probably never did. Hobbies, besides pop culture, really enjoy music. So love going to concerts. Try to go to probably at least 2 or 3 concerts a month. Lego, and it is Lego, not Legos, is a big passion of mine. I've spent far too much I care to admit on Lego in the past few years. I'm an open book, so if anybody has any questions, I want to get to know everybody in this room. I want to have authentic, genuine relationships and see how we can work together. I know that's my cue. So thank you guys for all having me. I appreciate it.
Is that it? Yeah, Elizabeth, are you coming? Yeah, it's your turn. You ready? No? You don't want to do it? You can be real brief. That'll be all right. You can do it. Okay. You want me to stand with you? Will it help?
My name is Deborah Woodrow Lynch, and I'm a lifelong Oklahoman, Normanite. tours. I'm old enough to have 3. The first one was my father in the early 50s, and his whole family migrated to California, the golden land of opportunity, with the single goal of making enough money to move home and buy land, which he did after 10 years, and he bought 20 acres on 72nd Street off of Alameda. And so I went through Norman Public Schools, except Falls Elementary was out on like 7 or 8 miles east on Alameda, and it was a 3-room schoolhouse, and it had 6th, 7th, and 8th grade all in one room. And then I went to Central and Norman High, so that's my first events here in Oklahoma. And then after I got out of high school, I was on my way to OSU. That was my first detour to get out of Norman, and I met my husband just before I left, and so I was only there 1 year. I came back, graduated OU. I was the first coach hired after Title IX, and I coached at Central Mid-High. I coached softball, volleyball, basketball, track and field, lined the fields, carted the girls in the back of my husband's Shell van, which was a big red van with no seats, and it said Ron Lynch Sports Center on the side. And I would pile those girls in, and we would drive all over the state. And that was the beginning of sports in Norman, Oklahoma, because when I went to Norman High, the only sport offered was tennis, because that was feminine. So I did end up playing softball because I lived out in the country, and we played fast pitch. So when I got to OU, I ended up playing softball on the first teams offered after Title IX for 2 years. So let's see, when I finished college, we lived here, we worked until 1990, and then we moved to Arizona, and we were desert dwellers for 34 years. We just moved back last June. While in Arizona, we developed restaurants, Schlotsky's Delis over a number of years, and then the Tilted Kilt Pub and Eateries. We've been back now here about a year. We're diving back into OU sports, especially basketball, since Ron played at OU, and softball. Yeah, number 1 again, 5 feet coming up. So we're back, we're ready to join back in, enjoy our retirement, and give back to this community that we love so much. Thank you.
Let's give everybody a big round of applause. Did y'all learn something today? Yeah. Okay, that was a good informative meeting, I feel like. So, thank you all to the Red Badge speakers today. We really do enjoy hearing from you. And there's a lot of y'all that have some weather stuff kind of in common, so we can work on that and get to know you, we know more about you. So thank you all for being here today. Have a safe and happy Memorial Day. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, if you're giving away a milk or bicycle to go to schools. We'll see you next Thursday. And Phil Long, thank you for coming. Y'all can sign up to go on his walk or to support that. And sign up for the Maverick race if you are so inclined. We are adjourned. Zane does his duty of bringing